am either auditioning for the next part in the local nativity play or as an Ewok in Star Wars, probably closer to the point, or I have got all this fabric gorgeousness home from the local quilt shop and now I don't know how to cut it for my quilt because there's just too much to handle. If that sounds a bit like you, I've got you covered in this video. Some people think they should be cutting off sections of this fabric and cut it down from there. I would say no, because that wastes your fabric. So let's go find out exactly how to do it. I am Kim, this is Quilt with Kim. You're very welcome. Let's go to it. So you've got your fabric home. This is a very gorgeous Moda basic grey grunge, which I love. There's about 2 meters here, and let's just say our pattern asks for 2.5 inch strips. How are we going to cut a 2.5 inch strip off here whilst handling all of this fabric without cutting sections off? Because if you cut a section off, you run the risk of wasting a fabric and then not having quite enough when you get to the other end of your fabric. So what we're going to do is keep your fabric folded just like this is, however it comes from your shop as you get it. What you're going to do is get one of the ends and just unfold it a little bit. You're going to give it a press. I haven't on this one, but that's what you're going to do when you're cutting it. But we're going to give this a press just here in this section here, because that's what we're going to be dealing with. And then over on the left here, can you see I've got all the other fabric folded up? I'm really just going to fold it back on itself so it's easy to handle. And then, like with all fabric, before we start cutting, our very first cut is going to be to give ourselves a straight edge. So we get our scraggy edge, so you've pressed it. We've got our scraggy edge over here. We put our ruler on and we are going to get the top of the ruler, one of the horizontal lines on the ruler sitting on the fold at the top of the fabric, which I appreciate you can't see. So I'm going to just angle the camera slightly. So can you see up here, we've got one of the horizontal lines of the ruler just sitting on top of the top fold of our fabric. So that's what you're aiming for. And when you've got that, and the reason why we do that is because that is generally the straightest line that we can work from. So I'm just going to move this slightly onto my cutting mat. So you can see on the left here, I've got all of this bulk of fabric just folded up. Let's get all this done and give ourselves a straight edge. So I'm cutting myself off. It depends on how your fabric's folded, but that's about 1/2 inch or so I've cut off. So that gives ourselves a straight edge to work with. And then I'm simply going to flip that to the other side. So I am right-handed. So I cut with my right hand, obviously, with the fabric that I want to keep will be on my left underneath my ruler. If you are left-handed, you need to swap this around, so you have your fabric that you're cutting on the right, because you'll be working on the right hand side of the mat, not the left, but the same rules apply. So we've got our bulk of our fabric here that you can see all folded up. There's our straight edge, and now we can measure up and cut our strips, whatever we want to do. I'm going to cut a nice simple 2.5 inch strip. So as per normal, I'm making sure that the 2.5 inch line is up that nice cut line, and at the top that you can't see, the horizontal line is sitting on the top fold of the fabric. Let's just point that up there, so just along there at the top. So I've got a horizontal line along the fold, and I've got my 2.5 inch line, or whatever your measurement needs to be, down on the left. Let's get myself all straightened up, and then all I simply do is cut up there for my 2.5 inch strip, or whatever your strip needs to be. So that makes this really easy to handle. So I can cut whatever I need to off this bit of fabric here. So you don't need to press the whole lot, you just press the area about 1/2 metre or so that you need, then you can work with that. And then as you've cut that bit off, you unfold a little bit further, press a little bit more, but just keep this bit all folded up and you will be good to go. So I hope that has helped. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now. Mind you, I quite fancy being an Ewok in Star Wars.